Welcome back to the Pick Six Podcast Show on CBS Sports HQ, presented by Geico. Will Brinson, John Breach, and Ryan Wilson hanging out here in lovely Los Angeles. The vistas behind us are just marvelous on the CBS Sports HQ set. Shout out to all the folks behind the scenes who made this as gorgeous as it is, because they are working a lot harder than we are.
Yes.
We are sitting here in these chairs with our legs crossed talking football. Those guys are grinding the whole time out here. There are too many people to name, but we'll give Quinn a shout out since she's here too. Let's dive into some news and notes. Tom Brady, who retired twice. I don't know if you guys remember this. We had to go on HQ multiple times over the course of 3 days because Tom Brady kept retiring, or kept reportedly retiring, then not reportedly retiring, and then actually retiring. Then he didn't thank the Patriots enough. And then the Patriots fans were mad because he didn't thank enough people.
And then Brinson had to record 2 emergency podcasts.
It was ridiculous. I mean, but it's, he's the GOAT. It happens. But he came out and said, when asked about coming out of retirement, you never say never. Retirement may change. It most likely won't. How dare you, Tom?
Let me start by saying this. Breach, what did I say to you when he released his Instagram I'm leaving story?
I can vouch for Wilson that he said that Tom Brady specifically did not mention the word retirement in his retirement note, and therefore didn't technically retire.
Yeah, so
and he certainly hadn't filed paperwork yet. I mean, right?
And there was some scuttlebutt around the Senior Bowl when I was there about, maybe he's not actually hanging him up, and we can talk about potential landing spots at some point. But as Prisco said to me, he's still under contract, so I don't know what the future holds. But the fact that he's pulling a Sean Payton for a year, I don't know. I don't know what his long-term plan is.
Look, we all love our families. I love, shout out AK, Robbie, George the dog. Love my family.
Shout out the dog.
But, if you're Tom Brady, George might be listening, might be watching. If you're Tom Brady and you've spent your, the last 20-plus years in this routine of covering football, or playing football, and, training camp and all this, I mean, it's going to hit at some point when you're at home, whatever you do, whatever old his kids are, just at home cooking like pasta or something, or making mac and cheese, or
gluten-free,
some
pasta,
some zoodles or something like that,
Were those beans that Tom Brady eats?
Yeah, the mung beans. Mung beans. When you're the one who's making all the mung beans for the kids, and you're sautéing that salmon, and you're like, man, I wish I was out playing football again.
I don't know if he would miss it in the training camp part of it, especially someone in his mid-40s. But maybe it's a situation where you talk about veterans who, like, October rolls around and someone gets hurt, then you turn your phone on. But I could see him skipping all the August stuff, sort of what Aaron Rodgers didn't want to participate in. When I thought, no one else thought he was going to be out of Green Bay.
Well, it's funny you brought up Aaron Rodgers, because I was thinking of another Packers quarterback. Sounds like Tom Brady has some Brett Favre syndrome. Because I remember a certain day back in mid-2008 where Brett Favre announced his retirement, and then 3 months later decided, you know what, I don't want to be retired. I'm going to play football this year. And then the Packers had to trade him to the Jets, so he waited till the last possible second to put the Packers in the most awkward situation.
So they sent him to the Jets.
And as we said, Brady is still under contract, so maybe he waits till the Buccaneers fix their cap space and get everything.
Or they go sign Jameis Winston or something like that, and then he's like, actually, I do want to play, but I want to play for somebody else. I mean, do you think it's possible, Wilson, that you mentioned the scuttlebutt at the Senior Bowl in Alabama, down in Mobile. Do you think it's possible that Brady kind of wants out of Tampa Bay, but doesn't know how to say it in a way that will be nice? Or like in other words, he can't just be like, you know what, we're not going to be able to bring everybody back. The free agents are going to be gone. AB was off the reservation. Chris Godwin got injured really late in the year. He probably won't be ready to start the year. He's a free agent anyway. Some of these defensive pieces are going to be gone. I don't know if I want to deal with a rebuild type of thing, but if I wait long enough, I can jump in with, maybe Aaron Rodgers leaves and I'd go to the Packers.
Yeah, so a couple things. So I just figured Chris Godwin maybe was going to be done in Tampa Bay, but it sounds like when you talk to the Tampa Bay beat reporters, they feel like he's coming back. They're going to franchise him, so that's interesting in and of itself. They drafted Kyle Trask last year into round 2, beginning of round 3. I don't think he's ready to play. We just don't know. And the other thing is, why would Tom Brady want to leave that situation? He only said great things about Byron Leftwich, and maybe he doesn't mean them, but also, this is the same guy that took Antonio Brown under his wing, and if you can deal with Antonio Brown stuff, I feel like everything else you say is probably true. And Breach, is there a better situation? Like the Packers on paper maybe are better, but you're playing in Green Bay, and I feel like he is done with that sort of thing. If you're going to make me guess, and this is what we talked about 2 years ago when he was leaving New England officially, and everyone's like, oh, he's going to go to San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan, he's from Northern California. And that is where I would go to initially. Jimmy Garoppolo's leaving. The Trey Lance thing's become suddenly very much more interesting, but I don't know why he would want to leave Tampa Bay.
I think 49ers is the answer. Bingo. That was the team he wanted to play for. That is where he's from, the Bay Area. And
he was at the catch game.
Well, right. He was in the 1981 NFC title game against the Cowboys. So you are talking about a situation where
why? If you're the Bucs, how do you let that happen? I'd be like, no, Tom.
Well, you work at it. If the 49ers want him bad enough, you tell them.
What about Trey Lance for Tom Brady?
Could trade Trey Lance for 1 year, Tom Brady.
Trey Lance and 2 first-round picks for Tom Brady.
But if you're Brady, though, if you're Brady,
no, sorry, Trey Lance. The other way, Trey Lance for Tom Brady and 2 first-round picks.
That's probably a conversation you can have.
No, but if Brady's only playing 1 year, you're not going to give up 2 first-round picks.
More than 1 year.
And no, I think Brady thinks he has probably 1 good year left, and you just said you got to look around the league to say what team has the best chance of winning. And it's not just the 49ers because your hometown team. They're just in the NFC title game. They're literally 1 quarterback away from being in the Super Bowl. If Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't play I'm not going to throw him under the bus, but if he plays a little bit better, the 49ers probably win that game.
All right.
Settle on the Jimmy G slander. We'll get to Jimmy G in a
You're
second.
saying that Jimmy G is better or worse than Tom Brady?
I would say Tom Brady is better than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Both are Hall of Famers, Breach. Don't misunderstand. But Tom Brady's a little better.
I didn't realize saying Brady was better than Garoppolo was a controversial take.
No.